This is the Oliver way, and that's not to say that it's a good way. That's not to say that it's the best way. It's just the way that we do things around here, and we get things done. So welcome back to the Oliver way, or welcome to, because most of you are new. So if you're new here, I appreciate you at least tuning in. Stick around, see what we're getting into. This is the Oliver way, and that's not to say that it's a good way. That's not to say that it's the best way. It's just the way that we do things around here, and we get things done, so we take it for what it is. Today, we jumped on the mower because we have rain on the way again. Each and every day there's like a high chance of rain in the evenings, and I just can't get out of this humidity and the thick grass to get the grass down to where I like to keep it. So we're getting there little by little, taking advantage of the days where we can actually do that. And today was one of those days. So we got a little bit of grass mowed. Now, this is gonna be the moment of truth day. These pine logs are ready to be milled. So we have an order of pine that we need to get on the Wood-Mizer LT50 here very, very soon. A customer is looking for about 350 board feet immediately for a restoration project that's taking place in an area near us here in West Virginia. So we are gonna get those logs staged to the mill today, but we first gotta clean up what's inside the sawmill building. And by sawmill building, we call it the garage. It's a temporary place that we're putting the sawmill right now, just to keep it out of the weather. So we're gonna clean that all up because we've been milling poplar for a while now, and we're ready to start milling this pine. So we're gonna make sure the sawmill's all cleaned up, give it kind of a new, fresh start. And then what we've really gotta test is if we can get these boards out of this garage. So if you tuned in a couple videos ago, you saw how much trouble I had getting this prior stack of lumber that is now over here out of this garage. That stack of lumber was way too much for that KIOTI tractor. So we should be fine with lift capacity today. The question is, did I orient this pallet well enough, and do I have enough space to get the tractor lined up here, get the pallets under the pallet forks under the pallet, and get this thing out of here, because we need to stack pine here, and we need this poplar out of here for the time being. So this poplar stack today is gonna go with this poplar stack of about 500 board feet. There's probably about 250 on here, but we're gonna get it over here and get those pine logs into the sawmill building, because we're gonna be jumping onto that order here very quickly. So stay tuned. I'm gonna jump on the tractor, dump the slabs from our milling yesterday over where I keep the slabs over by where we burn and by the pine, come back and get this grapple on the front of the tractor. I'm sorry, I said that backwards. We're gonna get the slabs off the tractor, take them over to where we burn. We're gonna come back with the pallet forks to get these things out of here, take them over where this pallet is. And then we're gonna get the grapple. I am tongue-tied today. We're gonna get the grapple last, go grab a couple of those pine logs and get them into the sawmill shed so that we can start milling on this LT50 here very, very soon. So stay tuned, see what we're getting into, because I stumbled over that pretty hard, but we're gonna keep it anyhow because we're raw and we're pretty new at this. But that is the plan for today. Let's see how it pans out. business, before we bring the new pine in, just a little cleanup here on the sawmill. All the bark and the sawdust and whatnot from all the poplar logs, we might as well get a little bit of that out of here before we bring in new logs. Get a little bit of a fresh start. Take a good look at the sawmill, just make sure everything is as needed. And we'll be able to start milling pine really soon, which is exciting because this is the first real order that I have gotten for the LT50. So back in Pennsylvania is when I bought our first sawmill. And the first sawmill that we purchased was a Wood-Mizer LT35. It was a 2011 hydraulic model, and I bought that with the intention of doing portable milling. And the real reason behind that is because at the time that I purchased that sawmill, I didn't even own a pickup truck, let alone a tractor or any ability to move logs. And our home was not situated in a location where a log truck would be able to easily bring us a load of logs. You know, we had a lot of really nice timber on our property in Pennsylvania, mostly white pine, an old stand of white pine that would have been great lumber for personal projects. But I wasn't really looking to use my good timber on our property to fulfill customer orders. So the intention was, let's get this sawmill. We can use it for personal stuff as we dictate needed. And then we would take it portable, take it to customer homes, mill logs on their property, and we wouldn't have to deal with the mess. We wouldn't have to deal with transporting timber or boards, lumber. And that worked out exceptionally well for a couple of years. And then the opportunity came for us to move down here to West Virginia, and we brought that LT35 with us. But it was at that time that I really truly felt like the portable job was not for me. I should say that shortly after we bought the sawmill, I did buy a pickup truck because you can't really run a portable sawmill business without a pickup truck. So we bought an old Chevy, 3/4 ton Chevy, and we brought that down to West Virginia with us. And I felt like the portable world was not for me at that point because we had a young son and it was really taking away all of my weekends. And I didn't love that. I wanted to spend my weekends on the property with the family, enjoying wild and wonderful West Virginia. So we started taking that 35 and doing actual stationary work here on this property. And that went extremely well. So well, I would say, that I got too busy and I was once again spending too much time, evenings, nights, weekends, running that sawmill to fill orders right here in this building. And filled a lot of orders out of this building. And although that was kind of the goal, spending all those nights and weekends was not the goal. So we ended up selling that LT35 shortly after COVID hit. And at that time, sawmill prices were outrageous. And we just didn't have the projects to keep it ourselves. We didn't have, the need for the sawmill. It was kind of almost more of a burden. I didn't have the time to run it that I really needed to devote for it. So we kind of let it be. Took that as a sign to sell it. And we sold it. After we sold it, I told my wife, hey, one day I'm going to need to get another one of those. And earlier this past year, we started adding up all the property projects that we had in mind and that we were really passionate about and we felt were necessary or that we really desired. None of it is necessary. We just feel like a lot of it is, it's just what we want to do here on the property. And if we're going to do it here on the property, and we have the timber on the property, and we have customers, we might as well get back into the sawmill business a little bit. And so we started running the sawmill. We purchased this sawmill and just recently started advertising a little bit for some customer orders, being very, not picky, but specific about what we are willing and not willing to do for customer orders, because we still want to be able to do our property projects and we want to be able to spend time with family still. So we decided to pick up this LT50 to fulfill all those needs on the property. And we picked the 50 because we felt like the 35 was just not fast enough, to be honest with you, because I felt like I was spending too much time on it whenever I knew I could be more efficient with the bigger mill, come out here and crank out lumber in half the time. So we decided on the LT50, and so far I'm extremely thrilled. This mill has been fantastic. I love running it. It's fast, it's efficient, especially for the solo operation that I like to run. So we're gonna see how this plays out. I have a customer order that I need to fill. It's 1,200 board feet of pine, random widths, 12.5 foot long are the logs. And we're gonna crank out some lumber here very, very soon on the channel here. But that's really the story of where this guy came from, why we have him, where we started, where we're at. And we're cleaned up. So that was really what I was after here. I'm gonna get the wheelbarrow. There is some good sawdust on the other side of the sawmill here that I'm gonna use for the barn. And then the rest of this junk I'm gonna take to the burn pile. So I'm gonna do that and we'll be right back to take that grapple and go grab some pine. Okay, so the temporary sawmill setup is about to take on its next obstacle. This worked great earlier. I can't believe it actually worked. Imagine that. We set this pallet up a lot better that we got this poplar out of here, so that's gone. Those were 8-foot boards, 8'6". This order is 12-foot boards. These logs are 12'6". Those doors are, well, let me tell you. These doors are 12 foot. So what I'm gonna have to do to whittle this guy in here is kind of come in at a bit of an angle, wrap one end inside the door, and then turn the other one through. Once we're in here, I then need to get them somewhat situated in a position right around here, or I can take the cant hook and spin them into position to load them on the loader arms of the sawmill. So let's see if this is gonna work. I have done this in the past. I've had big orders of longer boards that I, at that time, again, was on my LT35. And that LT35 required me to bring in some long boards at times. So I'm pretty confident that we can get this through here. It just takes a little bit of patience. And I'm gonna need to steepen up my angle. So bear with me a minute. I'm actually gonna approach from your left, which is my right. And we're gonna come in here real steep and wrap right around the door with the, what will be the far side log of the log for the sawmill. So we're gonna tuck this guy in here. Start tucking right now. We're clear of that door. Tuck hard. A little bump, that's no big deal. And we're clear the door. So obstacle 1 complete. And this is a decent sized log. It's probably a 14-inch diameter. Nothing huge, but we're gonna leave it right here. Just to drop it down real nice and slow. We don't want it to run away from us. There we go. And I'm going to try to kick that end, what would be your left, my right, with the grapple, and see if we can get this at least started in the direction that we need it for the sawmill. So we're going to kick this here. And I got to watch behind me because the box blade will catch the door if I'm not paying attention. Okay, so we're looking pretty good with that log. I'm gonna grab the cant hook and get it in final position. See if I can give it a little bump here and roll it with the tractor just a little more. There we go, I think that's where that end needs to be. Okay, so we're gonna get the cant hook now, get this log into position. Get this guy into position and go get log number 2. So until I do that, enjoy a little music. This might take a minute. Well, well, well. The next obstacle has been successfully completed. We've got 12-foot pine logs in here. Obstacle number 2. Where are we gonna stack this stuff? If you guys have a suggestion, please chime in. My options are here, just like I did the other ones. However, I'm gonna have to move them every evening out of the way because I won't be able to get my tractor in and out. So I might be able to stage them across here while the tractor is out and then move them through the garage each time that I need to load up the mill. I want it on the back side of the mill here. Option number 2 is to go ahead and just stack it outside. So bring it off the mill, walk it over and stack it, and I can get in and out from underneath it very easily here. So those are my 2 options. If you have any other suggestions, let me know, because I have 1,200 board feet of this stuff to mill, and the easier I can make it on myself, the better it's gonna be. But that's gonna do it for today, guys. A beautiful sunset once again here in West Virginia. Even though the storm clouds are still lingering around here, the rain never actually showed up, so we're in pretty good shape here. A little more grass to mow, some trimming for sure in the very near future. But that's it for today, guys. We got a lot accomplished in a short amount of time, which is the Oliver way. Take advantage of what time you have and make something happen. So I'm gonna head inside now. It is getting dark outside. Melina and Colton are in the barn. I'm gonna knock out a little bit more flooring. Inside, if you wanna see any of that flooring project and what we're doing inside, there's a few videos earlier from last week that you can check out. But I'm not gonna show you any more for the time being because that bores me, and so I assume it bores you. But that's what I'm gonna go inside and do. Grab a bite to eat, do some flooring. So I appreciate you being here, guys. Lots of good stuff coming up on the channel still. Bunch of outdoor activities while the summer is wrapping up and we're heading into my favorite time of year, the fall. So stick around for that, hit like, hit subscribe, and we'll see you guys tomorrow on the next one.